You have come to the end of your own resources. My child, haven't you? You have stood at the precipice of a great challenge. You have looked within for the strength, the wisdom, the resilience to meet it, and you have found your own well to be terrifyingly dry. And in that moment of profound self-awareness, in that stark realization of your own inadequacy, a deep and heavy shame has descended upon you like a suffocating shroud. The world you inhabit worships at the altar of self-reliance. It applauds the image of unwavering strength. It celebrates the one who never falters. And you, in the honest and humbling experience of your own weakness, have felt like a failure by its standards. And worse, you have feared that you are a disappointment in mine. You have looked at your own frailty, your own limitations, and have believed them to be a flaw, a tragic deficit that has separated you from my favor and my power. This ache of inadequacy, my beloved, is a pain that has many voices. It is a voice of comparison that whispers, "Look at them. See how strong they are, how capable, how easily they navigate their lives. Why are you not like that? What is wrong with you?" It is the voice of your own inner critic, that relentless taskmaster who keeps a detailed record of your every mistake, your every moment of weakness, and presents it to you as irrefutable evidence of your fundamental insufficiency. It is the voice of fear that says, "You do not have what it takes. You will not be able to handle what is coming. You are destined to fail." And it is the voice of shame that concludes, "You are unworthy. You are not enough." This chorus of condemnation, my child, has been the sorrowful music of your soul for far too long. You have tried so hard to be strong, haven't you? You have put on the brave face. You have squared your weary shoulders. You have pushed through the pain and the exhaustion, all in an effort to live up to the world's impossible ideal of strength, and perhaps to prove to me that you are worthy of my love, my blessing. You have striven in your own power, relying on your own intellect, your own willpower, your own emotional reserves, and for a time, you may have succeeded. But the trials of this life, the very challenges I have permitted for your ultimate good, have been designed to bring you to this exact place, the place where your own strength finally, completely, gives way, the breaking of your own self-reliance. My child, has not been your great failure. It has been your great mercy, though it has felt like a curse. For in this place of your acknowledged weakness, in this honest surrender to your own inadequacy, a divine and glorious mystery is now poised to unfold. You have been looking at your weakness and seeing only a deficit, but I, your God, have been looking at your weakness and seeing a magnificent opportunity. You have seen your emptiness as a sign of your poverty, but I see it as the sacred space that can now be filled with my riches. You have seen your frailty as a source of your shame, but I see it as the very platform upon which my perfect strength can be most gloriously displayed for the truth of my kingdom. My beloved, a truth that will liberate your soul. Is this in your weakness? My strength is not just present, not just helpful, but it is made perfect. It finds its most complete, most powerful, most beautiful expression in the very vessel of your surrendered inadequacy. The world has taught you that weakness is something to be overcome before you can be used, before you can be valued. It sees strength as a prerequisite for significance. But my economy is precisely the opposite. I am not looking for your strength. My child, I am not impressed by your self-sufficiency. My power is not drawn to your competence. My power, my grace, my very heart, is drawn to your need, your weakness. When offered to me, is not a barrier to my power. It is the very doorway through which my power enters your life in its most profound and transformative way. I know how painful this experience has been. To feel weak in a world that idolizes strength is to feel profoundly alone, profoundly ashamed. You have felt that your weakness was a secret to be hidden from me, a flaw that might cause me to turn away and to choose another, stronger vessel for my purposes. But this is a lie from the enemy of your soul, designed to keep you trapped in the prison of your own striving, forever trying to get strong enough for your God. I am here to shatter that lie forever. I have not turned away from you in your weakness. My child, I have drawn nearer, for I am a God who delights in taking that which the world deems weak and foolish and insignificant, and using it to confound the strong, to display my wisdom, and to reveal my glory. Your very feeling of weakness is a sign that you are on the verge of a new and more powerful experience of my life within you. The end of your own strength is the beginning of you truly discovering mine. The crumbling of your self-reliance is the laying of the foundation for a life of true, unshakable reliance on me. Do not despair at your own inadequacy. My precious one, rejoice in it, for it is the sacred, holy ground upon which a new and glorious chapter of your life is about to be built. A chapter characterized not by your own strained efforts, but by the beautiful, effortless, and perfect manifestation of my strength in you and through you. The story is not over because you're weak. And the true story, is just beginning. And so, my cherished child, as you sit with the profound and painful awareness of your own inadequacy, as you wrestle with the shame of your frailty in a world that worships strength, the deepest and most frightening question in your heart is the one you have been afraid to ask aloud. Are you, my God, disappointed in me? You have looked at your weakness, at your inability to cope, at your faltering faith, and you have projected upon me the same judgment that the world, and you yourself, have cast upon your soul. You have imagined me turning my face away in disapproval, my heart heavy with disappointment at my flawed and failing child. But I'm here now to speak a truth so liberating, so contrary to your fears, that it will begin to heal the very root of your shame. Listen to my heart. My beloved, I am not disappointed in your weakness. I am not angered by your frailty. In fact, what you have labeled your greatest failure, I behold as your most beautiful opportunity, for your acknowledged weakness is the very doorway, the sacred, open space through which my perfect strength can finally enter your life and begin its glorious, transforming work. You must understand, my child, that my perspective is not the world's perspective. The world is impressed by human strength, by self-sufficiency, by the illusion of control. But I, your God, I am not impressed by these things, for I know their true nature. I know that human strength is a fleeting vapor, that self-sufficiency is a prideful illusion, that the desire for control is born of fear. These things, my beloved, do not draw my power. They often resist it. A spirit that is full of its own strength, its own wisdom, its own plans, has no room for mine. It is a vessel already filled, a door already barred from the inside. And while I love that soul, my capacity to work within it is limited by its own self-reliance. But you, my precious one, you have been brought to a different place, a more holy place, a place of far greater potential. You have been brought to the end of yourself. The fire of your trials has consumed the flimsy structures of your own strength. The weight of your burdens has crushed the prideful illusion that you could do this life on your own. And you now stand before me in the beautiful, honest, and vulnerable truth of your own inadequacy. And I tell you, my child, this is not a place of my disappointment. It is a place of my profound delight. For you have finally arrived at the true beginning. You have arrived at the place where my grace can finally begin to work unhindered. Your weakness, when you acknowledge it and surrender it to me, is not a failing. It is a profound act of worship. It is the humble admission that you are the creature and I am the creator. It is the ultimate act of trust, for in confessing your inability, you are simultaneously declaring your belief in my ability. It is the most sincere prayer your heart can offer, a prayer that says, I cannot, but you can. And this prayer, my child, this posture of humble, dependent trust, is more pleasing to me than all the impressive achievements of the self-reliant, more beautiful than all the eloquent prayers of a heart that has not yet been broken of its own pride. See your weakness not as a wall, but as a door held wide open. For as long as you believed you were strong, that door was, in a sense, closed and barred by your own efforts. My strength stood on the outside, patiently waiting, but unable to enter a room that was already occupied by the noisy efforts of your own ego. But now, in the beautiful silence of your surrender, in the quiet admission of your need, that door has swung open, and you have given me the invitation I have longed for, the invitation to enter the very center of your being and to fill every empty, weary space with my own divine, inexhaustible life and power. Think of your soul as a vessel, my child, when it was filled with your own plans, your own anxieties, your own strength. There was no room for me, but your trials, in their fierce mercy, have served to empty that vessel. And now you see yourself as empty, as void, and you have despaired. But I see an empty vessel as a thing of glorious potential, for an empty vessel is one that can be filled. And I, your God, I am an ever-flowing fountain of living water, of strength, of peace, of joy. And my greatest delight is to pour myself into the empty, yielded hearts of my beloved children. Your emptiness is not your shame. It is your capacity. Your weakness is not your deficit. It is the measure of the amount of my strength you are now capable of receiving. The divine paradox of power, my beloved, is that my strength is not just added to yours. It is perfected. It finds its most complete and glorious expression in the very space of your weakness. Just as the stars shine most brilliantly against the backdrop of the darkest night, so my power shines most radiantly against the backdrop of your acknowledged inadequacy. When you are weak and you know you are weak, and yet you act in faith, leaning on me, then the resulting victory, the ensuing strength, can in no way be attributed to you, but only and entirely to me. And this, my child, brings me glory, and it brings you the profound liberating joy of knowing that the power at work in your life is not your own fragile, finite power, but the very omnipotence of your loving God. Let this truth heal the very root of the shame you have felt. You have not disappointed me. My child, you have never disappointed me. My love for you has never been contingent upon your strength. I knew your frailties when I formed you. I understood your limitations when I called you. And I have permitted the very circumstances that have revealed those weaknesses to you, not to expose you to shame, but to liberate you from the impossible burden of self-reliance and to draw you into the joyful reality of my all-sufficiency. So, my beloved, let us now change the name of what you have been experiencing, what you have called my weakness. I call my opportunity, what you have called my inadequacy. I call my invitation, what you have called my failure. I call the beautiful surrender that has opened the door to my power. As you begin to see your weakness through my eyes, you will no longer fear it. You will no longer be ashamed of it. You will, in time, even learn to be grateful for it. For you will understand that it is the very key that has unlocked the deepest, most powerful, and most intimate experience of your relationship with me. Your weakness is not your disgrace. My child, it is the holy ground where my strength is made perfect in you. And so, my precious child, as you begin to see your weakness not as a source of shame, but as a beautiful, open doorway for my power, let me now illuminate for you the sacred process by which my strength is actually built within you. For this strengthening is not a passive event, not a magical infusion that happens without your participation. No, my beloved, the very circumstances of your life that have brought you to this place of acknowledged weakness have now become the unseen gymnasium of your soul, a holy training ground where you and I, together, will build within you a true and lasting spiritual fortitude. Every challenge you face, every moment you feel your inadequacy, is now a piece of divine equipment. And every time you choose to lean on me in your weakness, you are performing a sacred repetition, building a spiritual muscle that is more real and more powerful than any physical strength. You have looked upon your daily struggles as drains on your energy, as evidence of your failing. But I invite you now to see them as your divinely appointed exercises, each one perfectly designed by me, your loving trainer, to target and to strengthen a specific aspect of your inner being. I have not abandoned you to a life of hardship. I have enrolled you in a divine program of strength training, a program designed not to crush you, but to build you into the magnificent, strong, and resilient being I have always created you to be. And I am with you in every exercise. My grace, your supernatural energy. My wisdom, your perfect form. My love, your constant encouragement. Let us consider the first and most fundamental exercise in this gymnasium, the holy repetition of endurance. This is the simple, yet profoundly difficult act of facing a day that feels overwhelming, a task that feels beyond your capacity, a sorrow that feels too heavy to bear. In your old strength, you would have tried to muscle through this, relying on your own willpower, only to find yourself depleted and defeated. But the new exercise is different. You awaken. You feel the weight. You acknowledge your weakness, and you whisper the prayer of dependence. Father, I cannot bear this day alone. Be my strength today. This prayer, my child, is the beginning of the repetition. And then, as you move through your day, with every small choice to lean on me, you are completing the rep. When you choose to take the next breath in my peace instead of your anxiety, that is one rep. When you choose to speak a kind word when you feel emotionally spent, relying on my love to flow through you, that is another rep. When you choose to simply persevere for one more hour, upheld not by your grit, but by my grace, that is a glorious rep. The world sees only a person getting through their day, but I, your trainer, I see a spiritual athlete in the gymnasium of the soul, building the magnificent muscle of divine endurance, a stamina that will enable you to run the long and beautiful race I have set before you without growing weary. Then there's the sacred exercise of trusting in the midst of uncertainty. Your human mind, feeling its weakness in the face of the unknown, often descends into a chaotic workout of its own, the frantic repetitions of worry, the heavy lifting of worst-case scenarios, the endless cardio of an anxious heart. But I call you to a different exercise. I call you to the exercise of stillness, of release, of active trust. Every time a fearful thought enters your mind, and you choose not to follow its frantic path, but to instead release it to me and to replace it with the truth of my faithfulness, you are building the powerful core of a faith that is unshakable. Every time you are faced with a decision, and instead of endlessly analyzing it in your own limited wisdom, you quiet your soul, listen for my gentle leading, and take a small step in trust. You are strengthening the very muscle of your spiritual discernment. This is not easy work. My child, it requires great focus and a courageous will. But with each repetition, your trust grows stronger, more defined, more capable of bearing the weight of the glorious and unseen future I am leading you into. Consider, too, the holy exercise of loving from a place of emptiness. In your season of weakness, your own emotional well has often felt completely dry. You have felt you have nothing left to give to those around you. No patience, no kindness, no grace. And the world would tell you that in such a state, you are excused from the work of love. But I, your trainer, I see this as a perfect opportunity for you to build the most beautiful muscle of all the muscle of divine, unconditional love, for it is here, in your emptiness, that you learn that you are not the source of love, but a channel of my love. The exercise is this: when called upon to love and feeling utterly incapable, you pause, you turn inward to me, and you pray, Father, I am empty. Fill me with your love and let it flow through me now. And then, in an act of pure faith, you choose to speak the kind word, to perform the generous act, to offer the patient response. And in that moment, my beloved, you will find a love that is not your own, a patience that is not your own, a grace that is not your own, flowing through you with a sweetness and a power that will astonish you. With each such repetition, the channel of your heart is widened. Your capacity to be a conduit of my very being is expanded. You are learning to love not with your own finite, conditional love, but with the infinite, unconditional love of your God. I am your ever-present trainer in this gymnasium. My child, I know your capacities perfectly. The weight of the trial I permit is always perfectly calibrated to your present ability. When empowered by my grace, it is just heavy enough to challenge you, to stimulate growth, but never so heavy as to crush you. I am your spotter, my hands always ready to help you lift, my presence ensuring that you never fail beyond my ability to restore you. When you feel you could do no more, my spirit is there, whispering, one more. You can do this in my strength. And when the workout is complete, my presence is your place of rest, of recovery, where your spiritual muscles are mended, where your energy is replenished, and where you are made stronger for the next sacred session. So, my beloved, I invite you to joyfully embrace your struggles as your sacred training. See your limitations as opportunities. See your challenges as the divine equipment I am using to build within you a spiritual strength that is beautiful, resilient, and eternal. You are not failing. My child, you are not weak in the way the world understands it. You are in training, and the person you are becoming through this process, the soul that is being forged in this unseen gymnasium, is a champion, a spiritual athlete of immense power, a beautiful testament to the glorious truth that in your weakness, my strength is indeed made perfect. And so, my precious child, as you faithfully participate in the sacred exercises within the unseen gymnasium of your soul, as you learn to cooperate with me, your divine trainer, in the beautiful, strengthening work of grace, a profound and magnificent structure begins to take its form at the very center of your being. While you have been focused on the daily repetitions, the act of leaning on me, of persevering, of trusting in your weakness, I have been using every single one of those surrendered efforts to build within you a new and resilient core. This is the glorious result of the work we have been doing together. My beloved, the formation of an unshakable inner fortitude, a spiritual center of gravity so deep and so stable that it will change the very way you stand, walk, and live in this world. A quiet confidence, a deep stability, a strength that is born of me, is even now being made perfect within you. Remember the person you were before this season of weakness. Before you entered this divine gymnasium, your inner core, perhaps, was more fragile than you knew. Your peace may have been dependent on your circumstances being calm. Your confidence may have been tethered to your own successes and the approval of others. Your very sense of self may have been like a structure built with brittle materials, susceptible to cracking and even shattering under the immense pressures of life. You lived, perhaps, with a subtle, underlying fear of being truly tested, a dread that the next great storm would be the one to reveal your inner fragility and cause a complete collapse. But the process you have been through, my child, the very process that felt like your undoing, has, in fact, been my method of divine reconstruction. Every time you admitted your weakness and leaned upon my strength, it was like a new, supernaturally strong fiber being woven into your spiritual center. Every time you persevered through a difficult day by my grace, it was like a layer of divine concrete being poured and set within your soul. Every time you trusted me in the face of uncertainty, it was like a piece of eternal bedrock being fused to your very being. I have not been merely patching your old, fragile core. I have been building an entirely new one, a core constructed not of your own finite materials, but of the very substance of my own eternal, unshakable strength. What are the qualities of this new and resilient core? my beloved first. It possesses a profound and unshakable stability. Imagine a great ship with a deep and perfectly weighted keel. The winds may howl upon the surface. The waves may crash against its hull, but the ship remains upright, steady, its center of gravity holding it true in the midst of the storm. This is what I have been building in you, my child. Your outer life may still encounter turmoil. Your emotions may still feel the waves of circumstance, but your innermost being, this new core of divine stability, will remain serene and unmoved. You will discover within yourself a new equilibrium, a quiet center that is anchored not in the shifting sands of this world, but in me, your unchangeable rock. This is the source of the deep, abiding peace that will now begin to characterize your life. This new core is also the source of a quiet, authentic confidence. The old confidence of the world is loud, boastful, and often a compensation for deep inner insecurity. It is a confidence that needs to proclaim its own strength. But the confidence that is born from this new inner core is different. It is humble, for it knows its source is not in itself, but in me. It is quiet, for it has no need to prove itself to anyone. It is profoundly peaceful, for it is secure in its own belovedness and its own divine empowerment. You will find yourself facing challenges not with the old anxiety or the need to control, but with the calm assurance that the one who is your very core is more than sufficient for any task. This is the confidence that does not waver when criticized, that is not inflated by praise, for it is rooted in the eternal reality of your union with me. And from this stable, confident core, my child, emerges a new integrity, a new wholeness. A person whose core is weak is often pulled in many different directions by their fears, their desires, their need for approval. But a person whose core has been forged in my strength possesses a new spiritual integrity, a beautiful coherence. Your choices will begin to flow more consistently from a place of love and truth. Your yes will be a true yes. Your no, a true no. For your decisions will be rooted in the solid center of your being, which is now aligned with my own heart. You will feel less fragmented, less at war with yourself, for your thoughts, your emotions, and your will are all being brought into a beautiful, harmonious alignment with this new, resilient core that I have built within you. This inner fortitude is the very strength I have been promising you. My child, the strength that is made perfect in your weakness. It is not a strength that eliminates your humanity or your vulnerability. Rather, it is a divine strength that inhabits your humanity, that works through your vulnerability. You will still have moments of feeling weak, but you will no longer be defined by them or defeated by them, for you will know that those feelings are merely surface weather, while deep within, the solid core of my own indwelling strength remains unshakable and true. My delight, my precious one, is to see this magnificent inner structure taking its form within you as your divine architect. I behold the beauty of its design, the integrity of its materials, the unshakable nature of its construction, and my heart is filled with joy. I see you becoming the strong, stable, and confident being I always created you to be. A beautiful temple whose very structure is a testament to the power of my grace. This is the glorious result of the unseen gymnasium of your soul. Every struggle, every trial, Every moment of yielded weakness has been a sacred act of construction, building this magnificent, resilient core within you. The pain has had a purpose. The waiting has had a reason. And the result is a strength that is not of this world, a strength that is eternal, a strength that is now and forever. Yours and me. Embrace it. My child, trust in its solidity. Live from its quiet power. For this new and resilient core is the true foundation of your future, the source of your peace, and the beautiful, unshakable reality of my strength, made perfect in you. And so, my cherished child, as you begin to sense the formation of this new and resilient core within you, as you feel the first stirrings of a strength that is not your own, a peace that defies your circumstances, and a confidence that is rooted in me, I now desire to guide you into the sacred practice that will accelerate and deepen this beautiful work. You have come to understand that I'm strengthening you within. Now, my beloved, let me teach you how to most fully cooperate with this process. It is a posture of the heart, a spiritual orientation that seems utterly paradoxical to the world, but which is the very key to unlocking the fullness of my power in your life. It is the holy art of embracing your weakness in order to receive my power. It is the conscious choice to stop striving in your own strength, to joyfully acknowledge your need for me, and to learn to actively, expectantly receive the divine strength I am so eager to provide. For so long, my child, your relationship with your own weakness has been one of conflict, of shame, of resistance. You have seen it as your enemy, a flaw to be hidden, a deficit to be overcome through sheer force of will. You have battled against it, pushing yourself beyond your limits, only to find yourself more exhausted, more depleted, more discouraged. This is the way of the world, which teaches you to fight your limitations. But I am inviting you into a new, more graceful, and infinitely more powerful way, the way of my kingdom, which teaches you to surrender your limitations into my hands. I do not ask you to fight your weakness. My child, I ask you to offer it to me as a holy sacrifice, an empty vessel, a sacred space where my own strength can be poured out and made perfect. To embrace your weakness, my beloved, is a profound act of courage and humility. It means to let go of the exhausting pretense of having it all together. It means to have the courage to be honest, first with yourself and then with me, about your true state. It is to say, without shame or self-condemnation, Father, I am weary, I am afraid, I am confused, I am at the end of my own resources. I cannot do this alone. This prayer of honest acknowledgement, my child, is not a cry of defeat in my ears. It is the most beautiful music, for it is the sound of a heart finally turning away from the barren well of self-reliance and towards the ever-flowing, artesian spring of my grace. It is the sound of a doorway creaking open, inviting me, your God, to come in and do what you could never do for yourself. Once you have embraced your weakness in this honest way, the next step is to learn to actively receive the power I provide. Receiving, my child, is not a passive state. It is an active posture of the heart, a conscious opening of your spirit to my inflow. It is the opposite of striving. Striving is the attempt to generate power from within yourself. Receiving is the act of opening yourself to a power that comes from beyond yourself. It is the posture of open hands, of a yielded heart, of a spirit that says, I am ready. I am willing. Fill me. Strengthen me. Empower me. How do you practice this receiving? You do so by faith. When you feel weak, you consciously, by an act of your will, choose to believe that my strength is available to you in that very moment. You do not have to wait until you feel strong. You simply choose to act from the premise that my strength is your new reality. You may feel exhausted, but you can say, I receive your divine energy now, and then take the next small step. I'm trusting that my energy will meet you in that step. You may feel confused, but you can say, I receive your wisdom now. And then listen for my quiet guidance, trusting that clarity will come. This is the practical, moment by moment exercise of the divine exchange you offer me your acknowledged emptiness. And in faith, you draw upon my infinite fullness. Let this divine exchange become the new rhythm of your inner life. My child, let it transform the way you approach every challenge. Instead of bracing yourself and trying to muster your own finite resources, learn to pause, to open your heart to me, and to consciously receive what you need for that moment. This practice will liberate you from so much anxiety and strain. The pressure to be strong enough is lifted, replaced by the peaceful confidence that my strength is always enough and is always available to the heart that is humble enough to ask for it, to receive it. This posture of embracing weakness and receiving power is profoundly counterintuitive to the proud human spirit and to the wisdom of the world. But it is the very secret of a life of effortless grace and supernatural effectiveness. The world sees you acknowledging your weakness and may call it giving up. But I see you opening the door to my omnipotence. The world sees you ceasing your own striving and may call it passivity. But I see you aligning yourself with the flow of my spirit, where true power resides. My joy, my beloved, is to meet you in this place of your surrendered weakness. My heart is not drawn to the self-sufficient, the proud, the one who believes they have no need of me. My heart rushes out to meet the one who knows they are poor in spirit, the one who acknowledges their need, the one who comes to me with empty, open hands. For it is in such a heart that I can do my deepest work, that my grace can flow unhindered, that my strength can be most gloriously displayed for all to see. As you learn to live in this new way, my child, you will find yourself becoming, paradoxically, stronger than you have ever been. But it will be a different kind of strength. It will not be a harsh, brittle, self-driven strength, but a gentle, resilient, peace-filled strength that flows from a source beyond yourself. It is a strength that does not need to boast, for it is quietly confident. It is a strength that does not need to dominate, for it is rooted in love. It is a strength that does not fear vulnerability, for it has discovered that its greatest power is found in its dependence on me. So I invite you, my precious child, into this beautiful, liberating dance. Let go of the war against your own frailty. Embrace your weakness as a sacred invitation, and learn to live with open hands, an open heart, always ready to receive the boundless, inexhaustible strength that I, your loving Father, am so joyfully, so ceaselessly, so powerfully pouring into your life. This is the path to true might. My beloved, it is the way of embracing weakness to receive my infinite power. And so, my cherished child, as you faithfully practice this sacred exchange, as you learn to consciously embrace your weakness and actively receive my power, a new and beautiful phenomenon begins to unfold in your life. The profound strengthening I have been accomplishing in the unseen gymnasium of your soul does not remain forever hidden. No, my beloved, this inner fortitude, this divinely forged resilient core, begins to manifest in your outer life, not with a loud, ostentatious display of brute force, but with the quiet, undeniable, and breathtaking manifestation of true might. It is a strength that is gentle yet unshakable, a power that is peaceful yet transformative, and its quiet emergence into your daily experience is a glorious testament to the reality of my work within you. You will begin to notice it first. Perhaps, in your response to pressure, there will come a situation, a challenge, a moment of crisis that, in your former state of weakness, would have sent you into a spiral of anxiety, of panic, of frantic, fearful activity. You would have felt that familiar sense of being overwhelmed, of your own resources being utterly insufficient for the task at hand. But now, as this new challenge arises, you will notice something different within yourself. While your mind may still acknowledge the difficulty, while your heart may even feel an initial flicker of apprehension, you will not be overcome. Instead, you will find within you a quiet center, a deep, underlying calm that remains undisturbed by the outward turmoil. This, my child, is the quiet manifestation of my might. It is the peace that surpasses understanding, born from the unshakable core of my strength that now resides within you, holding you steady even when the world around you is shaking. Others will notice it, too, even if they cannot name it. They will see you navigate a difficult circumstance with a grace, a poise that seems to defy the situation. They will marvel at your lack of panic, your serene confidence, your ability to think clearly and to act lovingly even under immense pressure. They may call it composure or resilience, but you and I, my beloved, we know its true source. We know that it is the quiet power of my own spirit, my own peace, my own strength, now manifesting through the beautiful, strong vessel that you have become. Each time you respond to pressure with my peace instead of your own panic, you are displaying the quiet might of a spirit that has been strengthened from within. You will also witness this new strength in your capacity for endurance. The long trials, the chronic difficulties, the ongoing responsibilities that once drained you to the point of utter exhaustion and despair will begin to feel different. The weight may not have changed, my child, but your capacity to carry it has been miraculously, supernaturally expanded. You will find that you can persevere not with the grim, white-knuckled determination of your own willpower, but with a new and gentle grace. There will be a lightness in your spirit, even under the heavy load, a quiet joy that coexists with the difficulty, a steady stream of my energy that replenishes you day by day. You will no longer feel like you are on the verge of collapse, but rather like you are being carried, upheld, sustained by a power that is not your own. This is the quiet manifestation of my might. My child, the divine stamina that allows you to run your race with patience, to bear your burden with grace, and to finish your course with a strength that is renewed morning by morning. This gentle yet powerful might will also begin to transform your relationships. In your former weakness, you may have engaged with others from a place of neediness, of fear, of insecurity. You may have been easily wounded by their words, quick to become defensive, or prone to trying to control or please them to secure your own sense of safety. But now, strengthened from within by my unconditional love and my unshakable affirmation, you will begin to relate to others with a new freedom, a new authority, the gentle authority of love. You will find yourself able to listen to criticism without crumbling, for your worth is no longer dependent on their approval. You will find yourself able to speak your truth with a love and a clarity that is neither aggressive nor timid. You will find yourself able to set healthy boundaries with grace and firmness, no longer fearing the loss of connection, for you know your ultimate connection is secure in me. You'll find yourself able to love others more freely, more generously, for you are no longer trying to get something from them, but are simply overflowing with the love that I have so abundantly poured into you. This quiet relational strength, this capacity to love from a place of wholeness rather than from a place of lack, is one of the most beautiful and powerful manifestations of the work I have done within you. My delight, my precious one, isn't watching this quiet might unfold in your life. I see you responding to challenges with my peace. I see you persevering through difficulties with my endurance. I see you loving others with my grace. And my heart is filled with the Father's joy, a Creator's profound satisfaction. For this is the very purpose for which I have been strengthening you, within not just for your own survival, but for you to become a beautiful, powerful, and effective expression of my own character, my own life. In the world around you, you are becoming a living testament to the truth that when you feel weak, I am indeed strengthening you from within, and that my strength, when manifested, is a thing of profound, gentle, and world-changing might. Do not look for loud, spectacular displays. My child, though those may come at times, learn to recognize and to cherish these quiet, yet deeply significant manifestations of your new inner strength. They are the true proof of your transformation. They are the evidence that the unseen work has been real, that your weakness has indeed become the doorway for my power, that you are, day by day, becoming the strong, resilient, and beautiful vessel of my glory that you are always created to be. This is not a future hope, my beloved. This is your present, unfolding reality, and its quiet might is a thing of breathtaking, divine beauty. And so, my cherished child, as you witness the quiet yet undeniable manifestation of this new might in your life, as you feel the calm, the endurance, the gentle power that is the fruit of my inner work, let this final, glorious truth become the unshakable bedrock of your identity for all of your days and into the endless expanse of eternity, the strength I have forged within you. The strength you have received in your beautiful surrender is not a temporary loan, not a fleeting impartation for a single season of trial. No, my beloved, my strength, now woven into the very fabric of your being, is your eternal inheritance, a divine endowment, a permanent gift of my grace that will never be withdrawn, that will never fail, that will never run dry. You are no longer defined by your frailty, but by my everlasting strength, which is now and forever yours. This is the culmination of the divine exchange. My precious one, You offered me your weakness, and in return, I have given you my strength, not as something you must borrow day by day, but as a new inner reality, a permanent part of your spiritual DNA. The resilient core I have constructed within you is not a temporary structure. It is built with eternal materials and founded upon the rock of my own being and designed to withstand the tests of both time and eternity. The world may offer strengths that fade, that can be taken away, that are dependent on youth or health or circumstance. But the strength I give you, the strength I am within you, is an incorruptible treasure, a wellspring of divine power that will sustain you through every future season, every coming challenge, every moment of your life from this day forward. My promise to you, my child, is that I will always be your strength. This is my unwavering covenant with you. When you face new mountains, you will not have to wonder if the strength will be there to climb them. It will be when you encounter new giants of adversity. You will not have to fear that your resources have been depleted. They will not be, for your resource is me, and I am inexhaustible. When you are called to new levels of service, of love, of purpose, you will not have to doubt your capacity, for your capacity is no longer your own. It is mine, and my capacity is limitless. You can face your future not with the anxious uncertainty of one who must rely on their own fluctuating power, but with the serene confidence of one whose strength is rooted in the omnipotent, unchanging God of the universe. This work of strengthening you from within, my beloved, is also an ongoing one. Just as an athlete continues to train to maintain and build their muscle, so we will continue to engage in this beautiful, life-giving process together as you continue to walk in faith, as you continue to embrace your need for me and to receive my grace. I will continue to strengthen you, to deepen the work, to expand your capacity for my power. The resilient core that has been built will become even stronger. The wellspring of my spirit within you will flow even more freely. This is not a static state you have arrived at, but a dynamic, ever-increasing reality of my life, being more and more fully expressed in and through you. Let this knowledge utterly liberate you from the fear of your own weakness. My child, your weakness is no longer your enemy, your shame, or your limitation. It is now and will forever be the sacred trigger for the release of my strength, the beautiful, humble posture that keeps you continually connected to my infinite power. You no longer need to pretend to be strong. You are free to be authentically human, to have moments of weariness, of fear, of inadequacy. For you know that these very moments are simply opportunities to experience a fresh infusion of my grace, a deeper reality of my strength becoming your own. The pressure to be self-sufficient is gone forever, replaced by the joyful, restful reality of being divinely sufficient in me. This is your eternal inheritance. My precious one, my own divine strength as the very core of your being. It is an inheritance that cannot be stolen, cannot be lost, cannot be diminished by any earthly power or circumstance. It is your security, your confidence, your power to live the magnificent, purposeful, and fruitful life I have always destined for you. When others look at you, they may see only your human form, but I see a vessel of my divine might. When you look at yourself, I invite you to see the same. See not your frailties, but my faithfulness. See not your limitations, but my limitlessness at work within you. Your identity is no longer the weak one who is struggling, but the beloved one who is being perpetually strengthened by God. Live from this new identity. My child, let it inform your every thought, your every choice. The journey that began in the painful ache of your own frailty has led to this glorious place of shared strength, of divine empowerment, of eternal inheritance. The lie that you are not enough has been forever silenced by the truth that I'm more than enough and that I dwell in you. Walk forward. Then, my beloved child, my strong and beautiful vessel, walk forward in the quiet confidence, the gentle power, the unshakable peace that comes from knowing that when you feel weak, I am and will always be, strengthening you from within. My strength is your song, your shield, your inheritance, now and for all of eternity. And now, my cherished one, as you rest in the profound reality of this eternal inheritance, let your spirit be completely at peace. The struggle against your own frailty is over, for you have found your true strength in me. This divine power that now resides within you is your security, your confidence, and your unfailing resource for all days to come. You are no longer defined by what you lack, but by the one who is your all-sufficient supply. Rest in this truth. My beloved, you are strong in me, and my strength will never, ever fail you.